Hi, it's Mo and welcome back to the property vlog. This week, leaving a £150,000 a year job to work in property full time. So I am here in Canary Wharf in London, and I'm just meeting an investor today, but it sort of reminded me of when I used to work here, and my hair's got a bit crazy today, but if you can see up there, where is it? There we go, that HSBC building there. So I actually used to work there, that's 8 Canada Square, and I used to work on floor 15, which is about there somewhere. As I was here for an investor meeting anyway, I thought I would record a video just talking a bit about my experience in leaving a full-time job, a fairly well-paid full-time job, to work in property full-time. So before we jump into the video, a quick ask, please subscribe to the channel. We are getting dangerously close to 100 subscribers, which is a big milestone because it means when you get to 100 subscribers you can change the title of your channel, and it's not youtube.com/channel XYZ6253. It can actually be called /the property vlog. So it's very exciting. Please remember to subscribe. We get to 100. I said this in a video I think last year. When we get there, we are going to make a donation to charity, so it'll be a really good milestone to hit. If you can please hit the subscribe button. It's free and it takes 2 minutes. So let's jump into the video. So it was a bit of a clickbaity title, but I did want to actually provide some value in this video and sort of help people that are thinking about moving from a full-time job into doing property full-time. So hopefully I will be able to do that. So in the title I did say that it was a job. It sort of was a job. I was basically contracting at HSBC up there. I worked my way up when I moved over from Lloyd's. I then worked my way up to end up earning, in the end it was about £650 a day. So multiplying that out over the year, taking into account some time for holidays, so I was self-employed, it gets to about 150k. So it was really well paid, sort of in the grand scheme of things. So it was quite a big decision to leave. So in this video I want to just go through why I made that decision, and some of the things I've learned for hopefully help other people if they're thinking about doing a similar thing in terms of quitting their job to work in property full-time. So as well as the money, there were a load of other benefits in the job that I had, or the way I was working previously. So I'm going to run through those. The first one I'm going to start with is tax. So from a tax point of view, being a self-employed consultant or contractor, however you want to look at it, is a really efficient way of working. I know there are some changes now to sort of tax laws that make it a bit more difficult, and actually some companies are changing the way that they employ project-related staff. That's why I was working on projects. That's why the money was a bit better, because actually if you work on a project and they only want you for a specific period of time, it's obviously easier just to get rid of someone who's a contractor rather than a full-time employee. But there's definitely tax benefits from a contractor consultant point of view. So that was really good. I had my own limited company, which I've still got. It was VAT registered, so there were certain things you could put through from a VAT point of view. You could obviously expense a load of your items like IT and phones and computers and stuff like that through the company. So that was a really efficient way of working. And then you obviously pay yourself in dividends, and you can pay yourself a small salary. So it's a really efficient way of working. So that's definitely one huge benefit to working in the structure that I was working under. The other weird benefit that we had when I was still working there was I quit this role a year after my business partner James did, and when he quit his job, I was actually able to put him on the payroll in my company, pay him through the company, so that it didn't impact our ability to get mortgages. And so that was like a really sort of niche benefit of the structure that we had, that I still had a company that was running even though I was technically sort of in a job, and that actually meant that, yeah, like I said, we could get mortgages in the early days because he could show pay slips, he could show he had an income which was genuine. We were paying him through the company, and that really helped us in the early days when we were sort of trying to buy more property and get more of you started. I think the other benefit was working in the banking industry and working in the corporate environment, and I think both of those things really helped when I transitioned over to do property full time. We were already doing property while I was working, so we started in 2010 when we bought our first house, and this was sort of 2014 to 2016. So we're already in property, but working in banking, working in finance, understanding sort of how the machine works and how the industry works, and then also working in a corporate environment and working out what is it that we can learn from these big corporates and how they do things and how they have policy and process and systems and things set up, but also what are the things you want to avoid, how do you want to be nimble and agile as a small business, and what kind of things do we want to what kind of things do we want to take from a corporate environment, and what kind of things do we want to avoid to make sure that the businesses that we ended up founding in the property industry didn't just become sort of bureaucratic and full of paperwork and things like that. So that was another really key benefit of working. So I think on the face of it, you look at the tax benefits, you look at the ability to get mortgages, the benefits through that, you look at the learnings that you're making and things like that, and actually it's like, well, there's quite a lot of reasons to stay, so that was sort of quite a big factor. But ultimately I just was thinking about property all the time. Obviously James was full-time in property for the second year that I was in working in this role, and I would just constantly be messaging him, calling him, you know, taking a coffee break to go and speak to him about property, going home, doing it in the evenings and weekends, driving down to Plymouth in the weekends and things like that. I even had some occasions where I remember doing like calls from the car, sort of hands-free, but doing calls for work from the car. So all stuff like that. It just was really showing me and telling me the kind of things that I really was passionate about and that I really wanted to do. And that ultimately led to me just saying, you know what, the money's good, the lifestyle's good, I'm progressing, I'm getting promotions, all those kind of things, but actually fundamentally I want to be in property full time. So ultimately I made the decision to quit. When I quit, I thought I had about 18 months of sort of living expenses. Actually ended up lasting me about 9 months, so about half the time. So it was only 9 months until I then needed to start drawing some money out of the company to sort of pay myself. And I think the challenge was I was still living a lifestyle as if I was earning the same amount of money. So the pot I had just didn't last as long. For example, I had a Range Rover Sport, so I was still driving that around. I had that on like a lease plan, so I was paying a load of money for that, as well as the insurance and the tax and all the other guff that goes along with it. And then just other things, like my lifestyle didn't change, even though fundamentally I'd moved from being in a fixed sort of income role to actually just sort of being out doing property full time. So that was a huge thing for me, and that was definitely one of my lessons learned, which we'll come on to a bit later on in the video. So my 3 top tips or lessons learned would be, number 1, work on your side hustle or your side business until the cash flow from it is at a level at which you can either pay yourself what you're earning now through your job, or you can reduce your living expenses enough that the side hustle can pay for it. So just cut out all of the unnecessary spending and all the extra things that you might spend money on. Don't go on as many holidays, don't buy a new car, whatever it is, and really reduce that down, because it really de-risks you and gives you a lot of power and control and control over the whole situation if you can pay yourself from the business enough just to cover your basic living needs, and it really takes the pressure off the business. We had a lot of pressure on the business in the early days, because actually after the first 9 months I was then like, right, I need to start taking some money out now. So that would be a definite top tip. I think I tried not to ever have any regrets, because I think I've had a lot of opportunities, and we've had a really good journey in property so far, and it's obviously going to continue. But one thing I would definitely say to other people, and I do when they ask me about sort of transitioning from full-time jobs into property full-time, that's one of the main things. I think it's I probably could have stayed where I was working a little bit longer, worked on reducing my outgoings a little bit, worked on increasing the cash flow or the passive income from the property business a bit more, and actually having a bit more patience and maybe doing another year, and then I could have jumped, and then maybe the cash flow would have been equivalent to like cover, you know, half of my basic living expenses or 3/4 or all of it if it was just sort of mortgage and some food and bills and things like that. So I think that's definitely a lesson learned, and something that I tell other people that are thinking of doing the same thing. Number 2, I think if you are passionate about it, it's 100% the best thing to do. For me, it was the best decision I ever made. I think the timing, if I was to go back and do it again, maybe the timing would be a bit different, and I'd sort of work out my money a bit differently in terms of how long it would last me and my living expenses and things like that. But 100% the opportunities that I've had, the future that we're building, the properties that we've built, the teams that we're building, and things like that. And some of the amazing projects we've been involved in as well, we can't forget that. It's all been amazing, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So if you have got a burning desire enough, definitely make the jump. But I think just plan it out and be a bit more cautious about the actual move. But fundamentally, if it's something you want to do, there's no point sitting in a job and being unhappy. And I think number 3 is it's not for everyone. It's really hard work. You never switch off. You're constantly on call. You can go on holiday and you're still on call. It can be the evening, weekend. You're still on call. Ultimately, it's your business. No one else is going to sort anything out for you. Even if you've got amazing teams like we do, there's always things that come up, and you're never truly off. I think when you own your own business or businesses. So I think if you have a burning desire enough to do it, that's great, and you should definitely do it. But also, don't feel pressure that you've got to escape the rat race and you've got to sack your boss and things like that. I think there's a lot of information like that around, and actually it's not really very good advice, because you can have a really, really good life and you can be fulfilled and be wealthy and have free time and enjoy your life in a job. I think it's just stupid to say you need to sack your boss and all these other things that go around. For me, it was definitely something I absolutely had to do, and I from a young age I've always wanted to do business and be entrepreneurial, and I've done different business ventures with varying levels of success in the past. But you don't feel like you have to. It's hard work. You never switch off. So you can work a full-time job, build your passive income on the side, invest in sensible things, and be as wealthy, as happy, and have as much fun and feel as fulfilled as someone that's gone self-employed and doing their own thing, and maybe more so, because there's way less stress. Turning up to work, doing your day's work, going home, forgetting about it, having your weekends, those kind of things. Like, there's huge value on those. So I'd say the key takeaway is, if you've got a burning desire enough, definitely do it, but don't feel pressurized into doing it because it's like the thing to do, and you've heard someone say you need to sack your boss to like live a fulfilled life and have some financial stability. Like, that's definitely not the case. So I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions or comments, please drop them in the comments section below, or drop me a direct message or an email. I'll put my details in the description below. And please remember to subscribe. Like I said, I think we're at 84 at the moment. It'd be great to get it to 100. We're going to make a donation to charity, and it's quite a big milestone for the channel. We've had a few milestones over the past few months in terms of number of subscribers and number of views and all of those kind of things. So it'd be really good to get to 100. So please hit the subscribe button. So that's it for this week, and we'll see you on the next video.